For me, it was verbal and emotional abuse that I was dealing with. And it reached a point where I realized that I just couldn't go on. I couldn't live like that. It was constant, it was yelling, it was screaming, it was demoralizing, and it was continuous. And when it became continuous, I became fearful that it would go further. So that was the point that I made a decision that I had to leave.
I just don't know what to do. Well, I can understand that you're upset, but what I'm thinking is that if there's any way we can think of something like that.
How long has the abuse been going on?
Women's community, how can I help you?
Most definitely you can come in and talk with us. Do you have transportation available to you?
I didn't know a lot of people. I had 2 friends in the city, and I did receive offers to stay with them and did stay with them from time to time. But it wasn't a safe place to stay. There was nothing to stop my partner from coming to their home, and that could also put them in danger. So I knew I had to find a safe place to go.
They're afraid of coming into shelter. It's kind of a scary looking place. And they're also afraid for their lives. They're afraid for the lives of their children. They're afraid that they're going to be poor because they have financial issues they're afraid of. Legal issues, will they have custody of their children? Will they have to fight for custody of their children? Fears about how are they going to get safe and stay safe in the long term? Will they be rejected by their family? Will they be able to safely get their children to school? Will they be able to manage?
When I first arrived and when I actually got into the front line where the counsellors were, the relief was amazing because what I saw were warm faces who genuinely wanted to help me. And that was the most amazing feeling at that time. Because the reality is that you feel you have no one on your side. And a kind word and an encouraging word is the most valuable thing that you have at that moment. So they are very practical in terms of providing counseling service, any services you may require in regards to social assistance, employment, finding a place to live, housing, outside counseling if that's what you seek. They have a great deal of resources, but it is their warmth, it is their kind words, it is their smiles that we count on to help build our self-esteem while we're here. And we do spend time laying out safety plans, but we also spend time, when we're ready, of looking, where do we want to go from here? What are our options? What kind of future are we looking for ourselves, and if you have children, for your children? And how can that take shape?
Look at this. Can you spread your fingers apart a little bit?
I think when you first come to Women's Community House, you don't really have a preconceived idea. You know there are other people, women living here, and there are children living here. And while the staff are wonderful at making you feel at home, the reality is that you no longer have an ounce of privacy. You no longer have a space to yourself for any period of time.
A lot of things happen in a kitchen, and it can be a roller coaster in terms of mums feeling stressed about housing or whether they're going to have enough food to feed their kids when they leave the shelter. And I think cooperative living sometimes can be really challenging for a lot of women, because if you can only imagine what it would be like to live with 30 or 40 other people, and then half of those are children, and then cultures, language barriers, different types of home styles. But mostly I think it's a happy place because food is nourishing, and it's just a place that you can share a cup of coffee with another woman who's going through the same thing that you are.
Usually when women and children arrive in shelter, they arrive with little and they need lots. So when they come into the doors of shelter, they get a comfort bag which includes toiletries, sleeping attire. The little kids get soft animals, and we also provide quilts for them. And we provide a lot of clothing for the women and children. And that is all, of course, because the community has been so kind to us and provides us with these donations. And a lot of what we do provide, all of the programs and services for children, almost all of second stage housing, those are all fundraised dollars from our community. So we raise about $700,000 a year in order to provide those services.
I can't express my gratitude. My gratitude for them making me feel not only like a human being, but an important human being. Abuse crosses all barriers and all social economic barriers. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to get help. There's nothing to fear. It's only what you leave behind that's fearful.